Welcome to the Unfuck Your Fitness podcast. I am your host, Christy Castillo, and I'm here to give you real talk and cut the BS so you can actually enjoy building a body you love. I'm a personal trainer obsessed with giving you simple action steps to take you from feeling stuck to feeling sexy. Let's go. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to today's episode. I had a birthday since the last episode, since the last time we have talked, since the last time you heard my voice. I am now officially 42, which sounds crazy, but I want to talk in this episode just all about it, literally what I do, which is basically everything I've already taught you in all these episodes, but I just kind of want to sum it up and really talk to you about how I stay fit at 42. I do all of the things that I, of course, tell you about in all of these episodes. That's how I've gotten all of my knowledge, is personal experience. But since I've just had a birthday, I want to just kind of wrap it up and let you know exactly how I'm able to have the body that I have and how I'm able to talk to you about it so simply and make it sound so simple, and how I've been able to kind of unfuck all of this and just really talk about what I do, like how I am actually able to stay fit at 42. So my birthday was May 28th. It was on Sunday of Memorial Weekend. My birthday always falls somewhere on Memorial Weekend. And we had a great weekend. Obviously, Memorial Weekend is always a long weekend. So it's always like the, gateway into summer, which just happens to be my favorite season of the year. And it's also obviously Gemini season, which is fun and crazy and full of energy. So I love my birthday being on that weekend because it's cool to have a long weekend to celebrate your birthday and have it be like, welcome to summer, which I love. So it's always a really good weekend. This year, my son also had a baseball tournament about an hour and a half away from where we live. So we stayed 3 nights in a hotel and watched baseball all weekend. The weather was perfect. I had drinks. I had cupcakes. I had so much food. I had more drinks and maybe a couple more. We had a really good time. The weather was perfect. I did get a sunburn, but it was just a really, really good weekend to be away and get away. I didn't do hardly any work. It was just super nice. And I was able to obviously enjoy, like I said, the cupcakes and the food and the drinks and having fun with the other parents and not stressing about food. And I didn't get a workout in, not one day while we were gone, and I didn't care about that. So it was just really nice to be able to live, I don't want to say carefree, because I'm able to do all of this because I put in the time to know that it's okay to miss some workouts, to know that it's okay to eat. I did come very close to my protein goal all of those days. I took my protein shakes and my protein bars and my beef sticks and my regular Kodiak muffin cups for breakfast. And so I did plan ahead to be able to have some sort of control, which is why I'm able to have some drinks and have, all the food and all the things to be able to celebrate, because I do kind of stay on track and then I let myself go a little bit. And obviously, every single weekend doesn't look like the one that I just had. Not every single weekend is my birthday. So to do that every once in a while is totally fine, and to not think anything of it. But I do get a lot of questions, especially, having a birthday and posting it on social media, and people are just like, wow, you're 42, you look great, you're so strong, you look amazing. And I'm not ever fishing for compliments, but people always say it in a way that's like, wow, I want to look like that at 42. You are goals. How do you do that? Things like that. And so I really just want to get on here and let you know how I'm able to stay fit at 42. And there are a couple different reasons for that, and I want to share them with you. And I guess the basis of this is because now, obviously, growing up, I think when we're young and we think of the age 40, I don't really remember thinking that was super old or anything. But I'll be honest, I never saw myself looking the way that I do and feeling so energetic and good about myself. And I just never saw myself being where I am right now at 42. I guess I never thought about it, but I think, as we age, we are told the lie that, as you get older, you can't have the body you want, or after you have children, right? It's all downhill from here. Kiss that sexy body goodbye. Or I don't know. It's just like this thing, like as you age, you're obviously not going to look as good. You're not going to feel as good. Your skin's going to sag. Your muscle's going to deteriorate, whatever. And I think, yeah, we obviously hear that, but the fact that we believe it, I guess, is the problem. We believe a lot of things, I guess, is the problem, without having evidence of who's telling me that and why. Just because that's true for them, right? Just because their skin is sagging and their body is deteriorating doesn't mean that has to be true for me. And it sure as hell doesn't mean that it has to be true for you. And so I just kind of want to talk about that because I want to kick that in the ass that, like, you don't have to be, and there's nothing wrong with the body that you have, but you don't have to live in a body that you don't like, that you don't love, just because someone's saying like, well, you're old, just accept it, basically. Like, no, you don't have to do that. So I just want to talk about how I am able to stay fit and how I got to this point in case you want to join me in getting here. So number one is I have a really good foundation. This is number one for a reason, because without a good foundation and without the knowledge of my fitness and my body, I would not be able to be where I am. I spent so many years, like I've said in previous episodes, in these diet cycles going around and around and around. And the reason that we get stuck in those diet cycles is because we have no idea what we're doing. We're cutting carbs, we're cutting fat, we're cutting calories, whatever we're doing. Insert any diet that you've done, and you're doing that because you want to lose weight, but you don't know why you chose a low carb diet, why you chose low fat, why you chose whatever you chose. You're probably trying it because somebody told you it worked for them, but you're not really understanding the premise of that diet or thinking about it being long-term. I did the exact same thing, but the reason I'm able to be fit and stay fit at 42 is because I have taken the time, I've put in the time to know exactly how to eat, exactly how much to eat, exactly what I can eat, exactly how much I need to move, what workouts work for me, what makes me feel good in the gym, what I love to do as far as moving my body, what's also going to give me the body I want. Like, I have spent that time, put in that time to know all of those things to allow me to stay healthy and fit. So having a good foundation and good knowledge of fitness and my body is exactly what's gotten me here. I stopped doing shitty diets. I stopped doing diets, period. I was just like, this is not working. I'm not going to do that anymore. And instead of that, I put in that effort to really understand the knowledge of health and fitness and how my body works. And it's really actually not that complicated. FYI, you can do this. And I put in that good foundation. I spent the time at my maintenance calories and my calorie deficit. I spent time building muscle and putting in that good foundation. And when you have a good foundation, you can build on it. And so that's number one. That's the number one reason why I'm able to be fit and stay fit at 42. And I gotten here. It wasn't easy to get here, but now that I'm here and once I figured it out, it's very, very simple. The second reason how I'm able to stay fit at 42 is because I have muscle on my body, not as much as I did last year. Thank you, depression, stress, anxiety, but still enough to keep my resting metabolic rate higher, which means my body burns more calories at rest. So I can tolerate more carbs, more cupcakes, more cookies, more alcohol. On occasion, I can tolerate a couple days without working out. My body can tolerate more rest and more fun because I have muscle on my body. So that's another reason why you look at people and you see people out and about and they're ripped out. Not even me, I'm not ripped out, but people that are ripped out and they have huge muscles and, they're on a boat in the summer just eating all the food and slamming the beers. And you're like, wait, I'm eating low carb, trying to lose weight. And this guy over here had, looking shredded. And you're thinking, how the heck is he looking so good? Or she. It's usually just guys that are slamming beers. That's why it made me think of a guy. But anyway, let's turn this around to a she. She is slamming beers and she is just ripped out in this bikini looking so good. And you're like, wait a second. how is this happening, right? Generally, though, men are able to eat more than women. So lucky them for that. But that's a whole different scenario. But that's how, is because when people have put in the time to put muscle on their body, they can slam some beers on more occasion and they can eat more cupcakes, Oreos, all the things, have more fun, quote unquote, kind of, because they've put in that time to build that muscle. So when you have muscle on your body, your metabolic rate is higher, like I said, which means you do burn more calories at rest. Doing literally nothing, my body burns more calories than someone who doesn't have as much muscle on their body. So I have a good foundation. I have muscle on my body. So already my body is just functioning so well that I'm able to have the body that I want and have fun doing it. And it's simple because I have that foundation in place. The third reason that I'm able to stay fit at 42 is because I'm overall less stressed about my body. Stress wreaks havoc on your body in general. And there's a lot of stress that a person cannot control in their life. I will 100% vouch for that. But as far as my body goes, I don't have much stress as far as that is concerned because of the things that I already mentioned. I've already put in the time to understand my body. So I take a better approach about health and fitness and overall wellness. Mentally, I look at my body and everyone has bad body image days. I look at my body quite often actually and think, wow, you could be bigger or you could be smaller or you could X, Y, and Z, whatever it is, right? I wish this outfit fit me differently. I don't love this. I don't love that. Like, yes, I still have days and I try not to, but that will never happen where you look in the mirror and think you look amazing every single day for the rest of your life. But generally, I look at my body and say, okay, we could be doing a little bit better, Christy. But in general, I'm very thankful for my body, that what it does for me, the life that I'm able to have. It moves and it grooves and it's strong. And, I have a lot to be thankful for as far as my body and my health and my fitness. And so generally, I'm overall less stressed about my body because of the things that I did, because of the foundation, because of the time that I spent probably honestly hating on my body and treating it badly. I don't want to do that anymore. And so I've turned that around and I'm now taking a better stance on my health and wellness. And when you are looking at it as from a different perspective, like I do now, I approach my meals with more fun and because they fuel my body. I approach my workouts with a better attitude because I lift heavy and I'm trying to be strong. I want that higher, resting metabolic rate. I want muscle on my body because it's going to help me not have as many injuries as I go forward and I keep aging. There are a lot of things that my body is going to be able to do for me as I age because I'm treating it so well, and that causes me to not have any stress really about my body most of the time. And so, like I said, stress of any kind is killer. And the fact that I don't have that stress about my nutrition, about any food, about my workouts, like that's a huge weight lifted off of my shoulders. The fourth reason how I'm able to stay fit at 42 is because I show up even when I don't feel like it. This shit gets a lot easier when the work is so simple that I can do it without thinking. And again, this was not how it was for me always. I used to be very stressed about my workouts and my nutrition and my food and all of it because I didn't know any better. But I've always been so good at showing up even when I didn't feel like it. And honestly, this last year has been a test to that. I show up no matter what, even over this last year when I was not good, when things were not good for me, whether I wanted to or not, I showed up. When things were not good, I showed up. Whether I cried through it or whether I lifted heavy for my workouts, I showed up. So I know that I can because I did it. And I quite possibly will do an entire episode on the power of showing up when you don't want to, but let's dive into that a little bit as far as my own journey, because I'm okay with letting you into my life as far as I do struggle with depression and anxiety, and I have my entire life. In this last year, it really got to a place where it was bad. I was bad, and I had to do some really deep diving in therapy, and I had to do some really deep diving in journaling and create a lot of space for myself and do a lot of things that were hard and say no to a lot of things because I didn't have time or the energy or the mental space. There were moments where my depression was really bad, and it would make me really anxious that I was so depressed, which would make me even more depressed, and which would make me more anxious. And if you've ever been in the depression anxiety cycle, it seems never ending. It is unbelievably hard. And that cycle, led me personally to this place of not feeling like I was worth it, not liking what I saw in the mirror as far as myself, my heart, my soul. Like, I didn't think that I was worth it. I didn't think there was an end in sight. It was really, really hard. And showing up for myself, I was that person that was like, you're the mom, right? Put your oxygen mask on first, fill your cup first. And I did all of those things, and I believed that 1,000,000%. But when I was the person that was in the depths of depression, anxiety, depression first and foremost, when I was in the depths of that, it was like I all of a sudden had to really go through it. And instead of just saying it to someone else, like, show up for yourself, keep going, keep showing up, do it even if you don't want to, push through it. Of course, I had people supporting me along the way that would say, you need to do this, please, get up, get out of bed, work out, keep moving, keep going. But even when I didn't have those people in my life, and it's not because they weren't there, it was because when you are depressed, you don't want anyone. You can't talk to anyone. So it was just me sometimes where I would have to say, get up, keep going, show up, get into the gym, do your workout, at least get into the gym and sit there and cry, go through the motions. And that has never been something that was hard for me until this last year. Showing up even when I don't feel like it. I will do that on a good day, 100%. But on a bad day, when I'm depressed and I feel like I'm not worth it and I can't look at myself in the mirror without crying and, wondering, if I'm worth it, those were really hard times to show up, even when I didn't feel like it. But I fucking did. And so I say that obviously to just give you a little insight of what I went through the last year. And also so if you are someone who struggles with depression, anxiety, mental health, things like that, whether it be constantly, it's kind of lingering there and something will trigger it and bring it up, or whether it's certain times of the year, or whether it's certain dates that trigger something for you, whatever it may be. And I think we all, if we're being honest, do struggle with some depression, anxiety. If and when you struggle with that, if you keep showing up for yourself, even when you can look in the mirror and say, I'm not sure if you're worth it, but you need to get your ass to the gym. If you can do that, it will be easier as you go to keep showing up for yourself. Because what I kept telling myself was, and what other people kept telling me was, there will be a day, even though I can't see the day or even picture the day or fathom the day that I get through this, there will be a day where you do see some light at the end of the tunnel, and you will be so glad that you showed up and did these little things as often as you could technically even get out of bed and show up for them. You'll be so glad that you did, because honestly, now, like I said, I don't have as much muscle related to workouts. I don't have as much muscle on my body as I know I could have if I would have been, at 100% through fall and winter. But the fact that I still showed up, and the fact that I still look good, and the fact that I'm still strong and I'm still working out and hitting my macros and all the things, now that I am seeing light at the tunnel, or maybe I've made it almost to the end of the tunnel, wherever I am in my little journey here, I'm so glad that I showed up for myself, because I'm there now. I'm at the end where I'm like, oh, thank God I kept going, because I'm doing the damn thing. And, I'm at that moment where I didn't see it coming. I would even say to people, like, I don't know I don't know if I'm going to get through this. Like, I don't know if I'm ever going to be okay, but I would show up anyway. And so show up when you don't feel like it. That's how you get fit. That's how you stay fit physically, mentally. That's how you become a different person. That's how you become stronger. Like, that's honestly the name of the game, is showing up when you don't feel like it. Which leads me to number 5, and it's kind of the same thing, is I personally am so consistent that the only way I was not going to be fit at this age is if I was consistent at doing nothing, which I am kind of an all or nothing person, but I'm pretty all in on the all, not the nothing. So I am one of the most consistent people you will ever meet, and that's in general. I am so consistent. I knew when I started this podcast, like, I'm not going to miss an episode. I don't care what it takes or where I have to be to record it. I'm not going to miss an episode if I start this. If I start a workout program, when I started this journey, it was like, I'm committing to this 100%. If I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. So I have to be very careful at making sure that that's something I can fit into my life. I need to fit into my life, because I am so consistent. Now, that doesn't mean I'm going to stick with it 100%. That just means I'm not going to quit. I'm going to do what I say I'm going to do. And that's the number one reason that I can live the way that I do and that I can look the way that I do, because I'm so consistent with when I eat healthy. I'm so consistent with when I work out. I'm so consistent with showing up even when I don't feel like it. I'm consistent with the cupcakes, with the Oreos, with all of my food. Like, I'm so consistent. My body trusts me no matter what. My body knows, like, yes, I drink. Yes, I eat snacks. Yes, I go off the rails. And when I go pretty hard off the rails, but it's not often. My body trusts me to get right back on track. So my body doesn't have to, gain a couple pounds here and lose them, a few days later to kind of protect itself, because my body knows, like, okay, cool, Christy went off the rails this weekend, but we're not going to do that again until next year, So yeah, when I consume my Oreos and my desserts and my wine, I do that when I want it. Like, I do that a few times a week. And so my body's used to it. And so the consistency is the number one reason. It's not the first thing that a person does. It's not something that you do off the bat. You're not consistent off the bat because you really don't know what you're doing. You have to get that foundation first. But when you find what works for you and you're able to be consistent, that's when this not only works for you, but it works for you forever. And so that's how I'm like 15 years into this journey, feeling stronger, looking better. It's more simple. It's more doable for me to do now at 42, with busy teenagers and a busy life and a career and all of these things that most people can't really keep up with, right? I have really busy seasons of life. This is one of them, and I'm more consistent right now than I have been all fall and winter. Yes, my mental state has a lot to do with that, but when it becomes easy to be consistent, then it's easy to stay fit and healthy. So how can you do this too? What you need to do is gain knowledge and get help. To be honest with you, that's what I had to do. I had to tell myself, I had to really say, like, Christy, you are the problem. You are the problem that you're stuck in this diet cycle. It's your fault that you are here. It's your fault that you don't know anything about your body. It's your body. You need to start showing up for yourself and gain that knowledge and get some freaking help. It's like, if my car's broken down, I'm going to either get some knowledge on how to fix it and do it myself. No, probably not. But, I'm going to gain the knowledge on, like, who can I get help from then? My car needs fixed, right? Or my roof is leaking. It needs to be fixed. I need to get help with that. Same thing with my body. So what you can do on your own, and what I recommend starting with, is hitting your macros, lifting weights, following a program, lifting weights, drinking water, and getting enough sleep. Macros, weights, water, sleep. When I'm down and out all fall, all winter, all this last year when I was quote unquote off, those are the things I never gave up on. So don't admit defeat. It's not too late. Even if your body doesn't trust you, even if you haven't started yet, even if you have no idea what you're doing, it's not too late. Your body is smart and it's adaptable and it wants you to be your most healthy, fit self. Your body is in full support of that. And when you start doing those things, macros, weights, water, sleep, your body will adjust. It will thank you for that. So it is very important to find out what works for you, and what I do will work for you too. But you do have to put in the time. You do have to commit to it. There's no more going back to the diet cycle. Once you go in, you're going in on this, okay? There's no more diets and no more programs that you find from someone you don't know on the internet. No more fancy moves, workout moves. No more. Like when you see that shit on social media, or you hear a friend talking about something like that, like you can't give in. You have to stay focused and be like, nope, that's a shiny object. That doesn't matter. Nothing is going to get me there faster. Not this stupid ab move, not this stupid wall Pilates. Sorry if you do that. But it's not even like the move itself. It's just like there's not one thing that's going to get you there faster. Not this one drink that blocks all the fat producing hormones in your body. Like, no, none of that is going to help you. None of it. So you have to stay focused and just say, no, I'm not doing any of this anymore, and just stay on the right track. Trust me, it's so much easier when you can just say no to everything. But I had to do that same thing when I first committed to this. I had to say no to everything. I had to block certain people, coaches, programs, wording that people would say that triggered me. I had to stop all that on social media. And I'm so glad that I did, because right now at 42, I don't worry about any of that. There is nothing that I could see on social media or a move or anything that someone could be saying or doing on social media that makes me wonder, like, I wonder if I need to do that. No, I know exactly what I need to do, and it's because of trial and error, and it's because I gained that knowledge and I got help from someone that I trusted. I teach my clients how to do this and achieve this in my private coaching program, which is great because it's completely personalized. You get the amount of me that you need. The more questions you ask, the more I can answer, the more hands-on we are with each other, the better off it is. The more you tell me about your life and your routine and your goals, and the more we deep dive, the better off you are. And it's amazing. It's not cookie cutter. It's a fast track to all of what I have mentioned above. My private coaching is top notch, the way to go if you are needing full on support in your journey. And you can find that on my website. So I hope that you, most importantly, enjoyed this episode, as far as just me telling you literally what I do. And it's so simple, and to give you hope that you can do this too. Going forward, things I've been saying the last couple episodes, that things are changing with my programs and with my coaching, and I could not be more excited. I'm really excited going into my year number 42. I'm really excited about who I am and what I've learned and what I've gone through. And I'm really big on, like, you go through things for a reason. And I'm really excited to help you even more so, and, you know, more hands-on, and really just narrow down and really keep drilling this stuff in as far as what you need to be focused on and what will work and what won't. And no, it's not sexy. It's not sexy for me to sit here and tell you that I'm consistent and I have a good foundation and all these boring things, but it's the truth. It is the fucking truth. And it's exactly, you know, what I do. And that's what I want you to know, is that's all that you need to do. That's all my clients do. And I love my clients because they listen to me and they're just seeing the most amazing results. And so I thank you so much for listening and for trusting me, and for all the messages that I get saying that my podcast, these episodes have changed your life, your perspective, that you're not a slave to the scale anymore. You know, all the questions I get about macros, and just all of you that, you know, even start to work with me and you become my friends. I love it so much. I would appreciate it if you could rate this podcast with a 5-star rating, of course. And if you could leave a review on the show, it really makes a huge difference. I know it just takes a few minutes, but give me your honest thoughts, and that way anyone coming to the show can read. And it really does help me to be able to reach more people on the platform that you're listening on, to be able to help more women. That's really my ultimate goal in all of this, is to just reach more women and help more women. So if you could take like 3 minutes of your precious time and leave a review, I would love it. Also, please come follow me at Christy Castillo Fit on Instagram. And when you do, please shoot me a message, because I really, truly do love to hear from you. Thank you for listening, and I cannot wait to talk to you next week.
Thanks for listening to today's show. Go ahead and leave a rating and a review. And of course, follow the podcast so you don't miss out on any future episodes. And I would love it so much if you came to connect with me over on Instagram at Christy Castillo Fit. I will see you next time.